Howdy doody YouTube, my name is Birtha and I'm back again with another video. Today, as you can see, I'm using a different kind of filming. I am filming this on my iPhone 4, the latest one. And apologies, I would have my headset on, but no USB plug in this. So, I'm just hello, seeing if these work, and yeah, we'll give it a try. I'm just going to stop this video and see if it's filmed good. Guys, well, it's really hot outside today, hence the hair decoration. I'm going to show you my forehead so you don't see where I live. Today, it's a Monday. This is a new series called Birtha's Marvellous Mondays. So, for this episode of Birtha's Marvellous Mondays, I'm going to teach you a trick. And not necessarily you, but your companion, your feline. And these are the felines we're going to be teaching today. This one is Mrs. Smith. Now, Mrs. Smith, we actually found Mrs. Smith. I was at the park with my Dalmatian the other day, and he just had the fancies for this dog right here, and we decided to call her Mrs. Smith. Should be Mrs. Camel, but didn't want it to get too confusing for you guys. The other camera here, hello. Hi. And we're going to teach these couple of crazy ragamuffins how to do some. When you're teaching a feline a trick or any kind of animal, you do need a form of positive reinforcement. When I put up the meat, they usually respond in a courteous fashion. Excuse you? They usually respond in a courteous fashion. Take my Dalmatian. Now, Mrs. Smith is just trying to get the hang of things. So, Mrs. Smith, can you sit? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, she. Okay, so Mrs. Smith has earned herself positive reinforcement. There you go. Good on you, Mrs. Smith. For the first trick, I'm going to teach my puppy dogs how to praise Jesus. Oh, you've got the hang of it. How do you praise Jesus? I think my Dalmatian has it. Mrs. Smith, can you, Mrs. Smith, go, praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. Mrs. Smith, sit. Now praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. Good boy, Dalmatian. See, now you definitely have to show that the Dalmatian is doing the right thing by giving him a treat, and then Mrs. Smith will look at him and be, oh, all right, well, I'll do that then. Go on, Mrs. Smith, and praise Jesus. I'm just going to give her a treat for that enthusiasm. Now, another great trick to teach your canines, felines, because, you know, there's a woman here, Mrs. Smith. Right now, we are just having a rest. Do have to give your felines a rest. Canine and feline, don't discriminate. You just have to tell them to sit in the shade. So, sit in the shade. Sit in the shade. The Dalmatian has understood. However, Mrs. Smith, being the slow kind of degenerate that we see here, is half in the sun, half in the shade. We'll give him it. Mrs. Smith, that is very rude. So that sort of teaches Mrs. Smith, hey, wrong, and no reward for that behaviour. So for this next trick, I'm going to teach Mrs. Smith, who clearly has no idea about personal space at all. We're going to teach Mrs. Smith to stay back. Stay back. I am a person. No means no. clearly she hasn't got the message. However, my Dalmatian has understood, however, that personal space is a requirement for human beings. He's just going about on his own life, yet Mrs. Smith is, look at that's my knee. A few more steps and I could sue her. She means well. I know she means well. Oh, she's even learned to go in the shade. Good dog, Mrs. Smith. I am a dog professional. In the world of dogs, licking does mean I want you for dinner. Is a bit touchy-feely with the licks. You just have to say, stop, Mrs. Okay, someone please call the police. Buddy duty, YouTube. My heart's racing. Today's experiment on Birtha's Marvellous Mondays, the experiment got a little out of hand. Mrs. Smith did lick me, which in a dog's mind is, ooh, that is tasty. However, Mrs. Smith she actually did licking, meaning, ooh, I want you inside of me, my stomach. Unfortunately for me, and for some of you guys, she did succeed in that. So you won't be seeing much of this arm anymore, guys. Other than that, I think the experiment was great. We taught the dogs some tricks. It was great fun. Definitely think that went 10 out of 10. I mean, other than just a minor setback, you know. Just keep trying, and if you do run into a bit of a pickle like I did, don't give up. You lose an arm, you gain an arm, you know? So sorry about that, guys, that, you know, this video cut a bit short. So if you like this video, just tell your friends, and I can be their friends. Share it with all your dogs, show your dogs. Great thing about this video is you don't even have to teach your dogs anything. You can just play this video and they'll watch it and they'll look at my incredible Dalmatian and say, Polly, wow, I would like a bit of Birtha's meat, and oh, I would like some of the meat that Birtha has cut, and I will also perform these tricks. See you later, YouTube. Bye.